What up, though? It's your boy Foreman. We back with another online head-to-head rank match, and today I got a 3-for-1 special for you guys. And in these 3 videos, they were early quits by my opponents, but I also want to show you how moving around your depth chart and putting people in certain positions that they normally wouldn't play can be extremely beneficial in getting you stops, creating turnovers, and wins for you guys. As you see, I'm going through my depth chart. I'm putting people in places who don't play the position, but I know they can be effective. And I'm going against the Ravens, which means Lamar Jackson. So you see me moving around my linebackers, and what I'm about to do is put Shaquem Griffin on the defensive line. I'm going to move onside of DT, and then I'll user Kendricks, and I'll allow Bobby Wagner to just roam free and be Bobby Wagner. And what this does is Shaquem Griffin with that 91 speed will be able to contain Lamar Jackson and keep him in the pocket. I want Lamar Jackson to be a pocket passer this game. And that speed will allow Shaquem to do that. I'll spy Shaquem every play. And then the second Lamar steps out of that pocket, I'll send my spy at him. And that's what you want when you play against mobile quarterbacks, especially someone like Lamar Jackson who has 94 speed. So you do not have that many players who can match up with him. As you see right there, he steps out of that pocket, so I send Shaquem to go get him. And what that does, that immediately takes away a large portion of his game plan. Because when you have Lamar Jackson, as I'm fixing more personnel, putting KJ right there because he has better zone coverage and hit power. And what that does immediately is it strips the Ravens of their biggest asset, which is Lamar's ability to get out the pocket. Here's another way to contain mobile quarterbacks. Just blitz. Send pressure. I was trying to send dual edge, but it didn't come through on both sides. Send pressure and then contain. And what I mean by that is send pressure from one side and then lurk your user with the other side if it's someone that you know is going to scramble out, as we dot him up top with the corner route. And the point of this video is just to get back on defense and show you guys how just moving around your personnel greatly benefits you again. Right here I have Griffin here at linebacker this time, and it's for my run defense. Because with that 91 speed, what that allows Griffin to do is get from sideline to sideline quicker than anybody else on the field. And that's extremely important with your user, is to be mobile and to be able to run down a lot of these running backs out in the open field, or to cut off the edge and take that away from him. As I force him to take his check down, and I try to kill him right there with Bobby Wagner. So he's in single back wing tight, so the only thing I'm really concerned about is the run game. If he chooses to pass from this formation, that's fine, as we blow him up in the backfield right there with Wagner. And that was a great play again by Griffin, because I shot the gap with Griffin and forced the offensive lineman to pick me up, and that allowed Bobby Wagner to roam free in the gaps and hit him in the backfield. Right here, I'm really only concerned about the pass, so again, I shoot the gap again with Griffin. That gives Bobby Wagner the freedom to come around the edge, big hit stick, fumble, and a turnover for us. And again, that's created just by subbing in someone lower on your depth chart who can make plays, and his speed can cause problems. It's the same if you're playing with the Panthers and Luke Kuechly is your middle linebacker. Which should you use Luke Kuechly as we find a hole and take it in for 7? No, you wouldn't, in my opinion. You would find someone lower on the depth chart with just a good speed, and then you move Kuechly over to the outside linebacker and let the AI take care of Kuechly. Because with his 99 overall and his high awareness, high hit power, he's going to make plays without you as the user. So when you have elite players like Wagner and the Kuechleys and the Mosleys, allow them to be them. You don't have to user them for them to make plays. You'll be crippling yourself on defense unless you're playing MUT, by using your best defensive player. They're going to make plays regardless. So right here, he comes back out in this split close. So I'm going to give him the same look. I'm playing cover 2 all game because nobody on my team has the speed to cover a Hollywood Brown. And so I want to make sure I contain him also, as again, Griffin comes down and makes the sack. His speed allows him to meet Lamar Jackson on the edge and be able to make those tackles without breaking containment for those big runs that Lamar Jackson is known for and that a lot of people want to expose. So now he knows that I'm spying him, so he tried to stay in the pocket, and I get a quick block share by Clowney, and this guy decides to tap out. So that's a very good tip. If you're playing a mobile QB, sub in a very fast linebacker who may not be that high overall on the ends and allow him to take care of that mobile QB. And for some of you who don't know, if you do spy someone and the QB decides to roll out, just click the right stick, and what that does is it sends the spy after the quarterback. Our second game, we get matched up against the Texans. Excuse me. And because this game, Watson doesn't have the speed that a Jackson has, so I don't have to be as extreme as we break another nice run. And like I said before, guys, I don't do a lot of juking. For me, it's just all stick work. As Carson gets crushed in the backfield. I don't have to be as, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? As cautious when putting Griffin down on the D-line with the 91 speed. I can use her Griffin and I can leave Ansah, or I can sub in another linebacker with halfway decent speed, 85 speed, to contain Watson. And right here in the red zone, all I want to do is just get points because it's my first drive of the game. So as I usually do, I'm playing it extremely cautious in the red zone. I'm perfectly fine with taking 3, getting on defense, and seeing what this guy has. Because getting points is extremely important, as I said before, because you want to put the pressure back on your opponent to have to score. Because even if he scores 7, if you go down the next drive and get 7, you'll have the lead. But you never want to waste your first drive of the game, especially if you receive ball, because he gets ball at half, and now you've officially put yourself in the hole 2 possessions. So right here, I'm just looking for a quick dot in the back of the end zone. I know everything short will probably be covered, so I'm looking to hit him probably in the seams in the back of the end zone, because I know this is probably a man blitz. And right there, he puts the spy up himself to contain Wilson, but the spy isn't fast enough, so I'm able to catch the edge and get a few yards, and I kick and take my 3. So as you see, I'm spying Ansah because I know for a fact he wants to do that. He wants to get out and run, but I believe Ansah can stick with him and keep him contained. Right here, as you see, I'm using Griffin, and boom, I lurk something nasty, and I take it to the crib. That 91 speed in itself is a great way to bait your opponents, because there was no way he thought I was going to get across the field to lurk that corner route. And I played the corner route late because I knew for a fact that with Griffin's speed, I can get from sideline to sideline extremely fast. Same thing right there. As you see, I shoot the outside and force him to cut inside, knowing that I'll get a block shed and then I'll be able to make that play. And you can do this with any player who has good speed but a lower overall. And I got my guys Wagner and Wright. I have those guys playing on the outside. As he dips, he tries to scramble, and he throws up a duck. And his brother says, "Anything you can do, baby bro, I can do," as Griffin snags me another pick. And as you can tell from that last play, once he rolled out of the pocket, KJ Wright was in coverage. But as soon as he rolled out and I seen that he had nobody coming across the short, I just clicked the stick and sent him. And right there, he sends an all-out blitz, which I seen coming, so I streaked Metcalf. And I went to drop back in the pocket, but the drop back animation hadn't ended yet, which caused him to throw the fadeaway pass, which you never complete this year unless you have somebody like Mahomes. So it was a missed opportunity, but I do have confidence in my ability to move the ball. Right here again, I'm thinking man blitz. So I go with the motion slant because I want to hold that safety. And I want to hold his user. And then I was thinking of throwing the post route, but the post route didn't get the initial separation I wanted, and he stopped guarding the motion slant across the middle. So I just waited for him to cross that middle linebacker and pass lead towards the sideline just to get more space, more running room up the field. Right here, I see he plays the drag route, so I just hit the corner route, quick juke, and I take it in for 7. So in these type of games where I know I'm going to be able to move the ball extremely efficiently, I want to key in on defense, and I want to hit him. I want to hit him with something hard. If he gives me the opportunity, I'm going to be sending a lot of pressure. I'm going to be playing extremely aggressive with my user as I get a great block shed for a sack. Because in these type of games, I want to get my opponent out of there quickly. I don't want to, as I get another block shed with Clowney, I do not want to give my opponent any opportunities to make any plays down the field to get him back in the game as I send dual edge. He has the tight end up the seams, but I send the pressure so quick, I can guarantee you he was looking at Hopkins before he looked at the tight end, which was a huge mistake. So if you're playing someone who sends a lot of pressure, the first person who will probably be open is the guy up the seams as he quits out that game, which will carry us into our third and final game, which was against the Oakland Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. But let me reiterate that point again for you guys. If someone's sending a lot of pressure, the person who will be open more than likely is whoever you have running up the seams. So again, I'm trying to come out and establish my run game as I always do. And I haven't seen the Raiders too much this year, as I see the one high safety, so you already know what I'm looking to do. But I messed up because I dropped back way too far in the pocket, so the throw was a little late and it was underthrown. Had I just stepped up in the pocket initially, I would have had that. So then again, right there, I motion slant to hold his middle linebacker because I know naturally his middle linebacker is going to drop to the corner route or just to play everything underneath. So the motion slant holds him because if he doesn't play it, it's an easy first down. I only need to hold that middle linebacker for a slight second just to be able to get that corner route fitted in, and I'm able to fit it in and turn up the corner for 7. So it's just small things like that. Usually I would have run the drag right there, but I knew his linebacker wouldn't play a drag because it was 3rd or 4th and 7. I'm sorry, I can't remember. And he wouldn't really have to play a drag route. So I put it the motion slant just to hold him enough to get that corner route in. And right here, back on defense, I synced the in route coming in late. So I was just a tad bit late lurking it. But now I know that when he needs yards, he'll go to a corner route with a back end in route to try to pick up the first. So right here, he comes out in his I-form package, and I take note that he likes I-form because anything with an I-form slot, I'm always watching for the RPO pass because that's a huge gain if you're playing a run hard, but you're not respecting the fact that he can't hit you with the RPO. So anything I-form slot, strong slot, I'm always adjusting and putting something out there to play the RPO. So right here, I'm waiting to see what he comes out in just to see what play I can pick and what's going to be my setup. I see the I-form slot, so I'm already thinking RPO. So I set up my run D, but what I do right there is I put Bobby Wagner on a flat route, and boom, pick 6, gone to the house. And in order to get that flat route, the play on the RPO, because a lot of the times the flat route will come in and play the run, I pass committed. So now my middle linebacker already knows, somebody with awareness high as Bobby already knows to stay in pass coverage. And then what I have to do is I have to shoot the gap with my middle linebacker to try to contain the run. And that's not something I always do when I see slot. It's pass commit, but on that instance, I kind of was pretty sure he was going to run an RPO. I don't know why, but you know some of those games, you just have a good feeling that you know what's coming. And right there, I laid a big hit with the DT and was hoping I forced a fumble. I'm not sure if that works, but for me personally, when I go for a hit stick, I'm trying to get on the side where the ball is. If you notice with the big guy, I came in on his outside shoulder because that's where he had the ball. And it doesn't, and a lot of the times I'll whiff the hit stick because I'm not close enough to get the ball. But in a lot of instances, it works for me. I just try to hit stick on the side of the ball, or I'll go for a strip fumble, and I get me a decent amount of hit stick fumbles and strip fumbles in Madden, especially since they've patched it. Right there, he hits me with an in route, and right here again, I shoot the gap with Griffin. With that speed, that he has, I'm able to shoot gaps extremely quick, and I'm either going to blow the run up with my user, or it's going to force an old lineman who initially wasn't going to block me to have to pick me up, and then one of my defensive linemen or my linebacker can make the play for me. So that's why I love going into my depth chart and finding those hidden gems, because as a user, they make an extreme amount of difference when I don't have to use one of my better players, and I can just let those guys be them and then use one of these players with low overalls to make plays. Because a lot of the times you can make a 60-something overall player look like a 99 with good user. So if you are a defensive lineman user, in those games you're winning, in those blowouts, hop on that linebacker, man. Hop on that linebacker or that safety and just work that for the rest of the game. Of course, you'll get burned a few times. You'll miss a couple plays, but you want to get comfortable using the linebacker, because that'll help you take your game to the next level, guys. So always be aware of that. And right here, I break that long run and my opponent has enough and decides to tap out of the game. So right there will be the end of this game, and I'll take you back to the home screen where you guys can see my record. You guys can see that I'm now on a 28-game win streak. All these games that I'm showing you today, I played this morning, because that's what I have to do. I have to play my games early, record, edit, get them uploaded, then I head to work. So again, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Continue to comment, show love, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys. I'll be back with another gameplay for you all tomorrow.